Episode 2, The Legend Begins, Part 2. And how many words is this chapter? Oh my god! I know you're enthusiastic, and I'm glad for you. I'm glad, but chapter blocks are your friends. Uh, do you, do you have an editor or a beta or something like that? Yeah, that would help you a lot. I mean, if you're working alone, that's fine too, but having a little advice like this could shorten some of these. Well, I was thinking about one day doing one chapter of Fall Starfleet, but that's beside the point. Let's do this! Previously on Power Rangers Knights of War! A strange-hooded creature named Darklaw accidentally released an ancient evil that the world had not seen in over 2,000 years and threatens to bring the world to its knees. Fortunately, there was hope in the form of a 2,000-year-old knight named Steelblade. Yes, I know I gave him a different name in the previous chapter, but kind of forgot. And his 6 Mati swords, which would bring him 6 great warriors for him to train. It was more than a little shocked when he discovered that the 6 great warriors were instead 6 teenagers. But he was even more shocked when the young 6 were able to unlock a small part of the magic within swords. But can these kids be the world's only hope? And do they stand a chance against this evil? Find out today on Dragon Ball. So, the reason for that little Dragon Ball Z joke, you don't read that the rest of this is a high concept comedy, otherwise I'm going to be mad. Power Rangers Knights of War. It had been a full week since the young 6 were tested by the Trio of Harmony to be Equestria's new protectors. After Princess Twilight and her friends. At least that's what Headmaster Starlight was told by the Trio of Harmony. But what she didn't know was that it was all a lie. The truth was that the young 6 were kidnapped by 6 Magi swords, by a 2,000-year-old knight named Steelblade. Fought orcs using his 6 magic swords that gave them incredible powers and fighting skill. And on top of all that, they were told that the ancient evil had returned, and the only ones that could stop it. So you can imagine they had a lot on their minds. But try as they might, they couldn't think about anything else. The School of Friendship. The young 6 were in their living quarters, each deep in thought. I always wanted to be a hero, to go on missions and save the world like Princess Twilight and her friends. But what Steelblade said about us being the world's only hope, does this mean that this bad guy's so powerful that Princess Twilight and her friends can't stop it? But what if we're not strong enough? What will happen to Equestria, Mom and Dad, my little sister Coral Currents, or even Yona? Sambar thought as he paced his room. I was completely overpowered by those things, and we were only able to beat them by holding some mousy swords. And even then, I still had no idea how it happened. How in question was I supposed to defeat the so-called Dark One if I can't even beat his mooks? Smolder asked herself in anger as she punched the wall of her room. The punch was so strong it created a small room, and on the side of the small hole was Yona's room. Psst, said Smolder. Yona knows how dragon feels, said Yona's voice. Smolder peered through the small hole he made to see Yona. Young Yak was sitting on her bed, looking down like a sad puppy dog. Yona always thought she was one of the strongest Yaks in Yakistan. Yona also thought that nobody could beat Yak if Yak was with her friends. But now Yona knows she is wrong. Yona is weak, and her friends are not strong enough to fight evil, not strong enough to win, not strong enough to save Equestria or the world. Yona started to cry. But then Smolder hugged her with Yona returning the hug. Yona thought dragons didn't do hugs. This dragon does. Next time those things show their ugly faces again, we'll smash them. Smolder said with a smile. Yona then hugged Smolder tighter. Yona, you're caressing me. Smolder said, her face turning purple. Solarstream. 2,000-year-old knight. Amazing magical powers and another chance to save the world. Normally, do stuff like this makes you new excited. But instead, I'm freaking out, Silverstream said, flying around her room in panic. How do we get those amazing magical powers? How do swords have that kind of power? Why did the swords choose us? How did the swords choose us? Are the swords alive? There's so many questions and there's no answer. Dustin, Silverstream was attacked by a bucket of water and immediately turned into a cat. Ah, I see. She fell into like a drunk cat. 1,000 years ago, little kitty fell into hot springs and was drowned. Very sad. Silverstream, calm down, said Ocelus, now holding the empty bucket. Thanks, Ocelus. Why always tells me calm down? The hypocrite said while drying off. I know how you feel, Silverstream. I mean, so many questions and little to no answers. That's why I go to books for answers, she said, holding a book on equestrian history, with a cute little smile on her face. And the smile quickly turned into a frown. Fortunately, our answers revolve around a conflict that happened 2,000 years ago. Most means no book in all of Equestria will have the answers. That's not good, Silverstream said. Also means Princess Celestia won't know about the evil that's coming, because it was long before she was born. And if it doesn't know how, that means neither does Princess Luna or Star Sword Bearded know about it either. That's not really good, Silverstream said in a nervous tone. If we're in the world's only hope, then Equestria might be in the biggest danger it's ever been. She looked at her friend Silverstream. Silverstream, are you feeling okay? She asked. Silverstream looked like she was about to have a nervous breakdown, with her left eye twitching. Oh, don't worry, I'm fine. She then grabbed a pillow and screamed in terror. Also said slapped herself on the forehead. What are we going to do? The young six, the one that was the deepest thought was Gallus the Blue Griffin. He hardly said anything this past week. He asked his friends to give us some space until the school year started. And his friends started does that. 1 week later. Gallus, the Blue Griffin, was on his bed. Also, hard as he tried, he could not stop thinking about what happened last week and what the Ghost Knight said. Welcome, what, the chosen warriors of 6 Oh, I'm sorry, what? What the Ghost Knight had said. Oh, this is flashback dialogue. Okay, that piece of advice. Even when doing flashback, paragraph with new speaker. When you do this, it kind of confuses the reader here. Then Gauss was thinking about how one of the orcs was a string and strike, X right Silverstream, but the sword appeared in his claw, and how he became a sword fighter. But he still had no idea how it happened or where his friends got these powers. Not that he cared. He had punched a pillow in anger. This was supposed to be a normal year in my school of friendship. But instead, me and my friends were kidnapped by a ghost knight, and it tells us about some stupid evil from the past. Forces us to fight against some freaks that then crushed us and those swords appeared. And then all of a sudden, we start growing, get superpowers. But it doesn't make sense. Why us? Why me? I'm not some warrior. And that Silverblade guy expects us to save the world because so-called magic swords tells us? And listen to that. I already saved the world once. I don't need to save it again. Silverblade will just have to fight someone else to save the world. He thought to himself. There was a knock on the door, and Gallus opened the door to find Lightning Wing. I admire Starlock. We're willing to get you and your friends. It's time for opening announcements to start the new year, said the crate from Green Pegasus. Great, Gallus said, rolling his eyes. Hey, look on the bright side. Schoolwork will keep your mind off of you know what, he said with a wink. Gallus smiled. Yeah, I guess you're right. That's the spirit. Alright, kids, let's go. Time for school. With that, Lightning Wing and the young six were on their way to the main hall of school. Lightning Wing was also keeping an eye out for any strange lights, so the young six didn't disappear on him again. You know, it's funny, Mr. Lightning Wing. It's been a week, you still haven't told us what you're doing here at the school, said Ocelus. Lightning Wing just smirked. Don't worry, he'll see soon enough. Oh, he's looking for young teenagers to kidnap and invite to a sect dungeon. They arrived at the main hall, where all the other students were talking and waiting to start the year. And then Starlight Glimmer as Sunburst walked in, and the room immediately quieted down. Hello, students. Now, as some of you know, don't use "as you know" in a sentence for exposition. Princess Twilight will be becoming the new ruler of Equestria soon, and won't be the head mayor of the school anymore. But don't worry, she has put me in charge of the school now. As such, there will be so few changes. So please, help me welcome some of our new faculty, starting with the new Vice-Head Stallion Sunburst. He was a male orange unicorn with red mane and beard that was not very well combed. He also wore a pair of glasses and blue screen cape with stars on it. And your new guidance counselor, the great and powerful Trixie, said an over-the-top female voice. Oh, I'm so sorry, but with that page blocking my entrance, Trixie for a minute thought that Starlight was still talking. Let me do this properly. But your new guidance counselor, the great and powerful Trixie, said an over-the-top female voice. Thus, a small magical firework explosion in purple smoke. And when the smoke cleared, it revealed a light. No, I am not doing this. I think by now, everybody who has read or watched MLP knows who Trixie is. Skipping! As the new guidance counselor, the great and powerful Trixie will not only help you with your problems, but will also dazzle you with her amazing magic shows. She stood up on her back legs to do some mystical firework explosions. But first, my best friend and great and powerful assistant, Starlight Glimmer, must finish her opening announcements. Trixie gave an over-the-top bow, and then gestured her hoof to Starlight. Thank you, Trixie, Starlight sighed. Trixie could be so over-the-top sometimes. Well, that was one of the reasons Starlight loved her. Aww, my ship. Anyway, I would also like to introduce you to the new security pony, Mr. Lightning Wing. Lightning Wing then flew up next to Starlight and the other ponies. All the other students were confused. I'll bet you're all confused right now, said Lightning Wing, who was flying in midair. Well, allow me to explain that after Closing Glow incident, Miss Glimmer thought it would be a good idea to have some pony keep an eye on you kids. Make sure you didn't get too much trouble. And also keep those magical items safe and sound. Now, does any pony have any questions for me? One of the students raised their hoof. Yes, you with the purple bow. You can't see this, but I'm pointing to a picture of the little purple girl. Why are you the only pony for security? She asked. Anyway, smiled. Yeah, okay, well, Fran, it's a very good question, and I'll go to Jessica in Stone Street. Oh, no. Starlight grabbed the woman's telekinesis. We have a deal, remember? None of your demonstrations indoors or near the students unless you're in a rubber bubble, she said. Oh, Frat, forgot for a second. Sorry, Miss Glimmer. How many times do I have to tell you it's Starlight, not Miss Glimmer? Okay, sorry, Starlight. Just got a laugh from the students and Trixie. Never mind, she said, letting go of Lightning Wing, and calming herself down with Twilight's breathing exercise. Now, I'd also like to introduce the last new member of our faculty, a new history professor, Mr. Silverblade Knightley. Please, call me Silverblade. He was a full-grown earth pony. His coat was dark blue and he had a black mane and a goatee. There! And his cutie mark was a fleur-de-lis? Kind of like my Lady Fleur? All the students were very impressed with how handsome he looked, except for the young six who were in shock. This pony had the same name, same eyes, and same voice as the ghost knight that they met last week. No duh, I wonder why. I'm not doing the intro. We already did that in the first chapter. Look, Lunaverse does this perfectly. They do the opening in the first chapter, then move on. We don't need this twice. Now the introductions are out of the way, I can list off the school rules. Lightning Wing said. Because apparently, We needed to fix up the where these quotation marks are going. So where they're going all over the place. Lightning Wing was about to say something, but Starlight set his mouth up. Make one joke about Twilight, and you will be dusting the library for a month. Lightning Wing unzipped his mouth across his front hose. Run! He said. Good. Now, firstly, all students must be in bed by 10 p.m. No students allowed to be outside their living quarters after 9 p.m. Mr. Lightning will make sure you obey this curfew. We've already had at least 2 teen pregnancies. I'm trying to go through school not having a third. Oh, and don't try to sneak out to make a midnight snack or something, because trust me, I will know. Lightning Wing said with a smirk. Do they have teen pregnancies at Hogwarts? Okay. Secondly, I know Trixie may not seem like the best choice for a guidance counselor. I know she could get annoying at sometimes. But she is my mare friend and best point for the job. And because this is a school of friendship, I expect all of you to give her some respect. Starlight continued to list off some petty standard rules, which all the students were listening to, except for the young sixth. Guys, is it just me or does our new history professor remind you of some point? Sandbar whispered to his friends. No, Sandbar, you're not the only one, said Silverstream. Can't be him. Why would he disguise himself as an Earthpony and become a teacher? Asked Oculus, probably the stupidest question you could probably ask. Don't know and don't care. This is about us. Having to save the world, he'll have to find somebody else for the job, Gal said in anger. Young Six and Starlight went quiet when the Earthpony known as Silverblade Knightley cleared his throat. And everybody looked down. Sorry to interrupt, Headmare Starlight. You'll see that some of the students would prefer not to listen to you and set gossip to yourselves. Really? Starlight said, getting a little mad. Yes. If you don't want attention, you better keep your mouth shut and listen, he said in a very strict tone. Young Six gulped. Now, Headmare Starlight, I believe you still have one more rule to enforce. Oh, right. Thank you. Lastly, absolutely nobody is allowed beneath the school. If any pony is caught in there, you'll be in a lot of trouble. But hopefully that won't happen. So if y'all please follow me, Mr. Silverblade Knightley, I will show you where you'll be teaching your first class. Actually, we won't be going to the classroom, said Mr. Silverblade Knightley. What? Starlight sunburst and said at the same time in confusion. You see, as the new history professor, I've already decided what my students' first lesson is going to be. And for me to teach them this lesson, I will take them on a little field trip to the castle of the two sisters. Wait a minute. That doesn't mean you would have to go through the Everfree Forest, said Sunburst in a scared tone. Oh yeah, that total not scary, barely threatening forest, Lightning Wing said in a sarcastic tone, rolling his eyes. Lightning Wing's right. The Everfree Forest is much less dangerous than its reputation suggests. What? Everybody was in shock. They couldn't believe what they were hearing. Starlight was about to say something, but Mr. Johnson put a hope to her face. Let me explain first. Then I'll let you speak, okay? Starlight nodded. Now, the Everfree Forest is only dangerous if you're going by yourself. Going at night, stray out the path, bring food that will attract predators, or go in when you're just a filly or cult. Also, Princess Twilight and friends have gone in and out of the forest multiple times. Not to mention that Gallus, Oculus, Smolder, Soulstream, Yona, and Sandbar have been at the Castle of the Two Sisters by going through the forest and noticed trouble. He said to Starlight. Also, there's a zebra who literally lives in a supposedly unnatural, terrifying, monster-infested forest of death. The only time she was forced to leave was because of Discord, Lightning Wing pointed out. Starlight was wide-eyed and speechless. Well, actually, that's a good point. Of course, Mr. Lightning Wing will be coming with us to make sure nothing happens, said Silverblade. And if our Snoop is done eavesdropping, he could join you, said the great and powerful Trixie as he used the blasted empty spell of magic, revealing Chancellor Naysay. Look, you didn't even care about him in the episode. You don't even watch that season. So, if you don't mind, I know he's probably got some sort of voice by the awesome Maurice LaMarche. But, you know what? I'm probably going to come up with my own voice for him. And you people are going to like it. And I better not hear any complaints in the comments. And the toes of you. Oh, please, you can't fool the game. Well, we can physically ability spell, you amateur. She said with a glare. In fact, almost every pony in school is glaring at him. Including the young six who still haven't fully forgiven him for how he treated them. Well, except for Sandbar and Oculus. Well, it is a Chancellor idiot. Lightning Wing said, flying up to the unicorn's face, giving him a glare that would burn through cold. I beg your pardon, that Chancellor Naysay said in anger. Oh, you're right, that's way too nice. How about Chancellor Moron? Or even better, Chancellor, I'm going to do Equestria because of my racism and stupidity, said Lightning Wing, screamed at the last part. Well, I thought I was the one who burned things around here. Smolder said with a smile. Chancellor Naysay took a breath. Oh, right, look. I know I made some mistakes in the past, but it says some things I can't take back. But I'm not an idiot. Yes, you are. No, of course not. Here does the moronic unicorn who put two well-known Carnars to run a school of friendship over a little princess of friendship who was Princess Celestia Star student. Candace of user ruler Equestria. But you wouldn't let her run her own school because she wouldn't follow some stupid outdated rules that are older than you are, Lightning Wing said. Ouch, Sandbar said. By the way, all who agree with me that this guy's an idiot say aye. Aye. But, problem, I know this is a everybody clapped moment, and I'm all for this type of thing, but there's just one teeny tiny little problem. This kind of behavior would kind of get you kicked out. Sorry. I'm all for character bashing, but it has to flow naturally, and I can hear you speaking. Said most of the students while raising their hose, including 4 out of the young 6, Tracy and Professor Silverblade Knightley himself. While Chancellor Naysay did apologize for what he did in the past, that didn't mean everybody completely forgave him. Professor Silverblade did put himself down. Alright, now we're finished with Chancellor Naysay, we can start a field trip. And Mayor Starlight, Vice Stallion Sunburst, would you like to join us? He asked them. Sunburst had a huge grin on his face. A chance to see one of Equestria's oldest landmarks, where Princess Celestia and Luna grew up, where the elements of harmony used to defeat Nightmare Moon, and a chance to see the Tree of Harmony? Of course. Starlight smiled. Sure, why not? Excellent. And I assume Chancellor Naysay will be joining us? Yes, correctly. As you say yourself, if we're going to the Everfree Forest, we'll have greater strength in numbers, said Chancellor Naysay. Run, but I'm keeping an eye on you, Lightning Wing said to the glaring at the unicorn. The guy in Battle Tanks, he will not be coming. She has a little work to do in her office, said the funny magician. But really, she didn't want to go anywhere near that forest because she was scared to run into a creature she did not want to see again. Also, really, it's trying to keep me out here. Starlight nodded. Okay, now everybody go to your classes, and those who are Professor Silverblade's class, follow us to the Castle of Two Sisters. Unless you want to bet we're also Professor Silverblade's class, asked Smolder. 30 bits, and I bet Ghost Knight's up to something, and I don't like it, said the angry Griffin. Then he and his friends followed Starlight, Sunburst, Say, Lightning Wing, and Silverblade into the forest. Meanwhile, the dead, rotting swamp, where the Legion of Doom waited. Meanwhile, the other dead and rotting swamp, inside the goat-shaped cavern, the silhouetted goat was pacing back and forth in anger. Those orcs should have reported back by now. What is taking them so long? He screamed, blasting a 4-foot hole in the wall with his magic. Darklaw just once. While he hadn't gotten over the fact that his former master's body had been taken over by some dark spirit, it wasn't going to stop him from getting what he wanted. That's because Darklaw was one of those creatures who knew how to turn a bad situation to his advantage. He cleared his throat. Excuse me, master, he said in a polite tone.
The goat finally stopped in his tracks and looked at Darklaw, still angry. Speak.
First of all, are you sending those ceiling foot soldiers was a good idea. I'm not questioning your intelligence, I'm just a little confused.
Darklaw, those orcs are some of the strongest and most vicious creatures in my army. They defeated hundreds of my enemies, and they have rarely failed me, the goat said, sounding confident before getting back to his pacing. Darklaw heard something, then looked to his right. When he did, he got a big smirk on his face.
Are you sure?
Why do you continue to question me? He said, sounding more annoyed than angry.
Maybe it's because only one of the orcs has returned all bruised and battered.
Darklaw said, pointing to the entrance where indeed there was an orc, all bruised and battered and holding a sign in pain. But this wasn't any orc. This was one blasted into the sky by the young six. We know! Before the orc could say anything, he was teleported right in front of the goat's face.
Reports. Did you find a great and powerful magic force in the forest?
He asked intensely. The orc started to sweat bullets. What I saw it. Nutty! He screamed so loud that the entire swamp shook. Darklaw might have lost his hearing if he hadn't put some soundproof earmuffs. You were defeated by children. Oh, Master, you don't understand, the orc said, panicking. Failure is unacceptable, the ghost screamed, then blasted the orc with his magic and completely disintegrated him. Darklaw took off his soundproof earmuffs and put them back into his robes.
I knew this would happen.
The goat turned to Darklaw and glared at him. What?
I did try to tell you those stupid foot soldiers would fail, but you're too stupid to listen to me.
Darklaw said with a smile, but it quickly disappeared when the goat used his magic to grab Darklaw and pull him right to his face. Give me one good reason not to disintegrate you as well for this last comment, he screamed.
Well, it wasn't for me. You'd still be 6 feet under.
Darklaw pointed out with a smirk. The ghost's expression softened. Touché, he said.
Secondly, would you stop with the pacing?
Said Darklaw. Why? Asked the goat.
Yes, master, you made a groove in the floor,
said Darklaw, pointing down with his spiked fingers. We're supposed to be intimidated by these villains, right? We're supposed to take this seriously, right? Right? The goat looked down, back to see a long, narrow groove in the floor. Oh, he didn't get out of the groove. Then, in a blink of an eye, the groove was gone. The goat then turned to see Darklaw's glowing with black magic. Then poured a large nail file to himself and started using it on his claw.
Thirdly, I can be quite useful to you. Unlike those stupid foot soldiers, you're no offense.
Done taken, he said, pointing Darklaw down. Now, aside from resurrections, portal opening, fixing floors, what exactly can you do that would be useful to me?
He asked. Allow me to demonstrate,
he said, pulling out a black-colored list with crimson red writing on it. Darklaw started to go down the long black-colored list.
Let us see. Too crazy, too small, too stupid. Ah, yes, perfect. You shall do.
Darklaw said, smiling. He then rolled out the long black-colored list, and then his claws started to glow with black magic.
Now, creature with black heart and skin of steel, I beseech thee to come to complete the ordeal.
Then something fell out of a small black portal and crashed to the floor. When the dust cleared, it revealed a bizarre-looking creature even by equestrian standards. It was almost made out of completely blue, black, and white metal. It wore a brown fur coat on its back and had a hockey-like mask for... I think that's more like that mask from Ruby than hockey. And those are scythes, not really chainsaws. I'm sorry, folks, but I gotta adjust this image as I see it.
Oh, my head. Crikey, what all this am I?
The monster asked, speaking in an Australian accent. Even if there was an Australia here.
Ah, yes, nice and nice, my old friend.
Darklaw said with a grin. Translation from the sermon for Friday. Wait, no! Some of us have watched these shows, you know! Slice and Dice looked at Darklaw in shock.
Darklaw, what the heck are you doing here? Who's the goat?
Watch your tongue, said the goat.
I believe in the Interact Design Order, Master. This is Slice and Dice. Slice and Dice, this is my master, he said.
Does your master have a name? And also, why is your master going? Why am I here? That's what I want to know.
Enough. I didn't summon you to play 20 questions. I summoned you because we have a job for you, said Darklaw.
Oi, what's the job? A simple one, actually. I need to find and destroy a powerful magic force in the forest, the ghost said.
It may sound simple, but it'll not be easy, especially with those meddling ponies,
Darklaw said, clenching his jaw. What, did you say ponies? The monster then fell on his back and was laughing. Ha, no scared of no cute little ponies. Ha ha! He continued to laugh hysterically, like Darklaw and the goat waiting for him to be done. Once he was done laughing, he stood up. Well, not so much as cute little ponies as one pony, one Griffith, one hippogriff, one former adorable little changeling, one and one yak, and one other guy. I forgot. I gotta stop paying attention to the young six about 5 minutes ago.
You'd be surprised at what these animals can do,
Darklaw said. He used the eye on Mary's feet to show clips of the ponies. Blink.
Many creatures outside of Equestria think ponies are weak and pathetic, but in reality they are more powerful than you think. They possess incredible strength, fast enough to break the sound barrier, can control the laws of physics. A young unicorn will be able to go horn to horn with a young unicorn.
Darklaw explained why the Irish species so to go slice and dice what Darklaw was talking about. Excuse me one sec, guys. Hello? Mykin? I am so sorry for complaining about your use of Calypse. I am so sorry. Crikey, no wonder you need my help.
Nothing compared to all the villains they defeated.
No. You know what? No, you want to do a cool moment like this? Allow me to help. Oh, you're not the first person to come here trying to cause trouble and mess things up.
Oh no, there have been so many others.
But you have to ask yourself, what happened to them? Do 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 da 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 da. You see, you're not the first ones around here. Basically, I'm the doctor. Basically, run. There, that's how you do a cool sum up. So, who's the summary for about how many villains our heroes beaten? The people who just started reading the fix a long time ago? Its themes are far more changed in 2,000 years than I previously thought, the silhouette goat said, stroking his beard. Wait, excuse me, if those powerful villains go beat those ponies, how in blue blazes am I supposed to do any better? The monster asked.
Well, you see here, Slice and Dice. Your armor already has that problem covered. And as for the ponies' powers, you see, deep in the Everfree Forest is the Tree of Harmony. The source of the ponies' powerful magic. And it's also powerful magic that will destroy you. It
is also powerful magic that you what destroyed, Master? I'm so forgiving.
But destroying the Tree of Harmony is a very bad idea,
Darklaw said to his master. And why is that, Darklaw? And why didn't you tell me that the last chapter?
Well, you see, Master, if the Tree of Harmony is destroyed, then the Everfree Forest are going control, as a result there would be no Equestria for you to rule over. However, if someone was able to control the Tree of Harmony, then you would be in control of all the magic in Equestria. You're in the magic in the world.
Well, Darklaw, you seem you're far more useful than previously thought. Not only do you have magical abilities, but you seem to also have the entire DVD collection of the entire series of MLP.
It's what I do to keep the plot moving.
Oi, I like to break up this nice moment, but I'm no good when it comes to magic. Couldn't even be a good magician's assistant for my sister's 8th birthday party, said Slice and Dice. That does not matter, because the job is still the same.
What?
Darklaw and Slice and Dice said. You will go to the Everfree Forest, find the Tree of Harmony. But instead of destroying it, you will bring me back a piece of it so I can study its magical power and figure out how to control it. Oh yeah, simple and easy. I like it. And Darklaw will go with you. Wait, what? Said Darklaw, who's completely caught off guard. It's not a problem, Darklaw, the goat asked, staring at him. No, not a problem at all, Darklaw said in a panicked voice, except for the fact that I'm useless in a fight. I'll say that, you might disintegrate me, as he did to that orc. You're speaking out loud. What? There's no talismans or anything just showing that you are thinking to yourself. It, as far as I'm concerned, you are saying this out loud. Whoops! Then go and do not fail me. Yes, sir, Master Goat, Slice and Dice says. Darklaw made a portal, and the two went through it.